Hello, everyone. My name is Chris. This is my channel. Welcome, welcome. It is April 23rd, 2022. And where I am, it's another rainy, dreary Saturday afternoon. And so I thought I would just say hi and do a book review. I've got a few books here from my library that I felt like sharing with you guys today. It's so interesting. Everybody's like me in January, I think I wanted to take a break from doing tarot readings and focus on psychic mediumship. And I'm happy to report that my 5-week class went really well. And so I'm going to continue with that this summer. I'm really looking forward to it. And so I thought, oh, like maybe I should just take a break from tarot readings. But I've been getting a lot of encouragement, both on YouTube, but also in my private life. And, there's so many people that have questions about the tarot. And, um, and so I thought I would just share a little bit of my journey and how I got into it. Um, in high school, I have this written on my blog, but in high school, I would go to a friend's house, my friend Lisa, and she had a tarot deck, and I was immediately drawn to it. And every time I went over there, I would ask to use it, and I would do readings for both of us. And I actually have the book here, the Mythic Tarot. Okay, so this is my very first tarot deck and my very first tarot book. And it was a really interesting introduction to the tarot because each of the suits are based on a Greek myth. And so through storytelling, if that's an easy way for you to learn, that was my introduction, and it really gave me sort of a basis or understanding for the cards. The deck came with a velvet cloth, with the Celtic cross 10-card spread laid out on it. And so it was really user-friendly. And I would always get a lot of cups in my readings. And so, every time I went over, I would want to try again, and I would do readings for us. And so anyways, a friend of mine this week, Lisa, asked me, what are some good tarot books, or where can I find out what the cards mean? And when you're actually called to do readings for the first time, or, a deck calls to you in a store, or someone gifts you with a set, everyone really is on their own journey, I think. And not everyone likes the same deck. Not everyone's into the same spiritual beliefs. And it really is, if you decide to start exploring the tarot, it's a very individual journey. Okay, so I did readings for a long time for myself and for friends. And as I became better at doing it, I became more disciplined. And by disciplined, I mean, I won't do, after reading tarot cards for a long time now, I won't do readings in the presence of alcohol, for example. But I would definitely encourage anyone who's interested in picking up a deck to start, to not be intimidated by it. Just because you don't know what the cards mean, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you any less for someone who knows them inside out. Sometimes once you've learned a lot, your conscious mind can actually interfere with your subconscious mind. And so I really look back on those early days really fondly, because I was getting information in other ways while I was doing readings, and sometimes the best ones were for perfect strangers because I didn't have any, preconceived ideas about them. But when you do read, so what I wanted to show you was I really like this book. If you're starting out, The Tarot Directory by Annie Lionnet, Lion. Let's see here if I can do this without burning it. Annie Lionnet. It's hard to find books or websites where you really, I think, there's a variety of decks in the book, but I also really like the explanations. or the interpretations. I don't think they have reverse meanings in here, but there's sort of like a summary, like a cheat sheet that you can use when you're actually doing readings. But this would be a really good first book if you're picking up the tarot for the first time. A book that I know that other people really like is Mastering the Tarot by Juliet Sharman-Burke. And I'm just going to see, it's very similar to the other one. But you know, all this, you know, symbolism's really important, getting to know the symbolism. It looks like there's exercises in here, but again, there aren't reverse meanings. Yeah, okay. I picked up this one at a secondhand store, and it's very cute. It's very simple. But there are a lot of sort of tips and tricks here, using the tarot to access your intuition, choosing, keeping, and caring for your deck, opening to your intuition, preparing for a reading, doing a reading, discovering the essential energies of the cards. And so it has everything that you know, all the basics are there. And other, I really like the way that it's laid out, and it's really simple. So if you're a beginner, that's another good one. So A Magical Course in Tarot by Michele Morgan. So reading the cards in a whole new way. Another book that I found that's really wonderful is The Book of Tokens, Tarot Meditations, and this is by Paul Foster Case. And a lot of his, you can find a lot of his books for free online. And so if you want like something that's really academic, that has everything in it, that's really difficult to read, but really thorough, this was a real treasure to find. So I definitely recommend going to secondhand stores and checking out the books that you, or authors that you feel drawn to. When you're getting into the tarot, you're going to have to take astrology into consideration and numerology into consideration. And if you're not familiar with those things, those are some other really good books to pick up. Actually, there's a book over here I want to show you too. Okay. I just love books. They're just so great. So this is one that from the 70s, I believe. Let's see here. So its first publication was 1986. Okay, so not in the 70s. My apologies. Teri King, More Love, Sex, and Astrology, Understanding Yourself and Those You Love, is a really cool, it's a really cool reference book just to learn more about the signs. And it also specifies like if you're a Taurus man dating a Sagittarian woman, you know, what that's like, or, you know, all about the whatever, the Taurus man. You can find it in this book. So it's a little bit trashy, but it's really fun to read. And it's, you know, something that's really important. You know, it's like, it's important to be mindful of characteristics of each of the court cards. And this has been a really good reference for me. Friends of mine at work, I think it was Jean-Darc Brunel, gave me this book on numerology, A Mystical Magical Guide. And so the tarot cards are very much integrated with numerology. So if you're not familiar with it, it's, you know, it's fun to, you know, to slowly brush up on numerology. And there's some great exercises in here. Let me just see. My very first tarot card reader, my tarot reader, she ended up being my teacher, Fuchsia Sirwa. She incorporates this personality box exercise that you can find in this book. So the very first tarot reading I had at a psychic fair, probably in like 1988 or 89, she started with this personality box exercise, which is based on your birthday. So I normally look at people's personal year and their life path number whenever I do a tarot reading for someone. So that's something to check out. When you start doing tarot readings, you're going to start using your intuition. And so everyone is psychic to some degree. So you may be using clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. You might be using clairsentience, which is clear feeling. You may be using clairaudience, which is hearing things. What else is there? Claircognizance, which is like an inner knowing. And so this is a really good book on channeling, using your psychic powers to contact your spirit guides. And that's by Shirley Humphreys Battie. So that's really good. Because not only does it go through like, developing your psychic powers, but it also helps you learn to work with your spirit guides, if that's what you feel called to do. A really good book that my friend Mathieu gifted to me back in 2008. My goodness gracious. He is also a wonderful tarot reader and actually writes books on the Rosa Krishna. I should know more, but I don't. But he wrote a book. So his name is Mathieu Ravignon. And so you could always Google his name, or I can put a link to his book in the comment space below. But many years ago, he recommended this book to me called Psychic Self-Defense by Dion Fortune. I believe this is free online as well. It's a really excellent book. It's about a woman who was a nun who began to experience psychic phenomena, like personal psychic phenomena. And she had a bit of a crisis of identity, crisis of consciousness. And it talks about her own personal journey and all the spiritual insights that she gained through her experiences. And it's really wonderful. So she talks about, what I found really interesting is she talks about the roles of angels and demons in our lives. And so there's a lot of good reference material in here. And in the back, there's actually an index of subjects, I believe. Yeah, so you can look up in the index here if you want to know about banishing, bath rituals, black lodges, black magic, blackmailing. It's all in here. Solar plex, Raphael, lots of really, really good stuff here and really well written. I'm really into angels these days and working with angels. And my gift to myself for the holidays was this angel Bible. And there is so much in here. It's incredible. So working with gemstones, working with angels, the hierarchy of angels, angel colors, angels and the Kabbalah. What else have we got here? Anyways, it's just full of stuff. This is a very small and mighty book, but a really wonderful reference book that can help with your tarot readings. My very, 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 very favorite book, and this is for advanced tarot card readers, is More Simplified Magic, Pathworking and the Tree of Life by Ted Andrews. And for people who are into tarot reading or spirituality, you probably already know about Ted Andrews. He's written many books on, animal speak, and he was a very prolific writer of spiritual practices and really making things accessible to people, especially, I guess, in North America over his lifetime. But once you get into tarot and you're at an advanced level, It's hard not to ignore the fact that they are primarily based on the Tree of Life, from the, early Jewish mystic Kabbalah traditions. And so this is an incredible book, a wonderful reference book. And, once you've been working with the tarot for a while, you might be interested in exploring um, ascension, I guess is the simplest way to put it. But this is my very, very favorite book as a tarot card reader. So I highly recommend this one if you can find it. He also has Simplified Magic, I think, which was the book that came before this one. So I just wanted to share those with you. I know that's a lot of information, but if you're just starting out, just do what you feel called to do. Trust yourself and your guardian angels, your spirit guides, your ancestors that are guiding you. I really believe that prayer is talking to God and meditation is listening to God, and that this form of divination really is just another way to connect with spirit. I grew up in a very traditional Christian Mennonite family, and people like to use the word sorcery in regards to the tarot. And anyways, there's a lot of misperception when it comes to tarot cards. For me, it's just another tool to talk to spirit. And, sometimes spirit might send a bunny rabbit across your path, to warn you about being fearful or nervous, or to console you, or you might be drawn to horses, and horse medicine is all about not comparing yourself to others. And so I feel like, our ancestors, our angels, God, Mother Earth, Father Sky, whatever whatever is true for you, it's like we can always be in communication with spirit. And so when I started reading tarot cards for myself, I actually kept, I think, a weekly diary or a monthly diary where I would, clean my house and create sacred space. And then I would take a bath and have clean sheets. And I had this whole routine, and I would do a tarot reading, and I would. Part of my practice was to use it as a diary. So that's one practice that you can start right away. You don't have to do a full 10-card reading for yourself. You can just. My recommendation would be to pick one of the first 9 cards in the deck: the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot, the Strength card, or the Hermit, one of those 9, and really get to know those first 9 cards. I think that's a really good first step, and maybe keep a diary and try to manifest the meaning of the card throughout your week, and see how things change. That would be my advice if you're starting out. So I thank you for tuning in if you're still here. And I think, the next video I make is going to be about decks that I brought into my life. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about your tarot deck. So I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to reading for you soon. Okay, bye.